Hello, hello, high level listeners. Are you traveling anytime soon? Let's practice some new vocabulary and help you learn English every day with some real world English phrases and sentences.
Yeah, because when you hear natural conversations like this one, you don't just learn the words, you learn how people actually speak as well.
So, today you'll learn real everyday travel vocabulary through two short English stories, one in American English with me, Kat, and one in British English with Mark. So, I'll be flying to visit some family.
And I'll be taking the train.
And if you want to keep improving your English every day, don't forget to check out our complete English listening guide with over 100 real life topics and more than 2,000 words and phrases to help you understand and speak English quite naturally. All right, let's get into it. So, I'm actually flying out this weekend to visit my family back home. I'd been meaning to book this trip for months, but flight prices were just so high. I finally snagged a good deal for a direct flight with a budget airline, but I'm going to have to pack much lighter this year as the baggage fees are ridiculously high. But oh well, it's totally worth it. All right, Mark, tell me about your travel plans coming up.
I'm doing something similar actually, but I'll be taking the train up to see my family. It's a bit of a longer journey, about 6-ish hours, but there's much less hassle. No big queues, no security rummaging through your bags or showing up 2 hours early. I always bring a book, but most of the time I end up looking out the window and letting my mind wander. I love a good train ride. Okay, so now you've heard both of our stories. Don't worry if you didn't catch everything the first time. We're about to go back through them from the beginning and focus on the key phrases and expressions about traveling. You can also try to repeat the sentences with us. This is shadowing, and that'll really help you with the rhythm and pronunciation and help you sound more natural. So we'll go back to Kat's story first. You said you were going to be away this weekend?
I'm actually flying out this weekend to visit my family back home. Yeah, I'm actually flying out this weekend to visit my family back home. Okay, so the first one is I'm flying out this weekend. I'm flying out this weekend. Now, this phrasal verb, flying out, we could just say also I'm flying. I'm flying this weekend. I know it sounds like we're a bird, but it does mean I'm taking a plane, right? It's more common to say I'm flying than if we said it like public transportation. I'm taking a plane. So I'm actually flying out this weekend to visit my family back home. Now, a lot of people do say my hometown, to visit my hometown, and that's completely fine. Probably something that's more common is to say I'm going back home or I'm visiting my family back home. That's just a much more natural way that people tend to talk about their hometown or the place that they grew up, especially if their parents still live there. So I'm actually flying out this weekend to visit my family back home.
Is it a spur of the moment trip or?
Actually, I'd been meaning to book this trip for months, but flight prices were just so high. I'd been meaning to book this trip for months, but flight prices were just so high. So the first part of it, I'd been meaning to. I'd been meaning to means I had been meaning to. That means I had wanted to. Okay. Every week I thought, oh man, I should book my flight. And then the next week, really, I should book my flight. So I had been meaning to. So I had been wanting to, but flight prices were just so high. So I'd been meaning to book this trip for months, but flight prices were just so high.
Yeah, they can be expensive.
For sure. I've finally snagged a good deal for a direct flight with a budget airline. I finally snagged a good deal for a direct flight with a budget airline. So, this first one, I snagged a good deal. Now, I think this is a little bit more American, but if you snag a good deal, you get or you received a good deal, and I took it right away. So, I finally snagged a good deal for a direct flight with a budget airline. Snagged. I snagged a good deal. I immediately bought it, right? I immediately bought it. I snagged a good deal. I'd been looking, I'd been meaning to buy it. I'd been looking, and yes, I finally snagged a good deal for a direct flight. A direct flight. There's no stopping in the middle, there's no layovers, and you get there much faster. So I finally snagged a good deal for a direct flight with a budget airline. A budget airline is going to be an airline or a company that is much cheaper than the other ones. I wouldn't say this is luxury at all. It's probably just a big plastic plane that's just flying from point A to point B. You don't get anything extra. Well, what? Maybe they're metal. I don't know, but we're not totally sure anymore. You don't get any luxuries. You don't get any food. You don't get anything. You have to pay for it all, right? So I finally snagged a good deal for a direct flight with a budget airline.
That's how they're so cheap, because they're all made of plastic.
Massive.
Even the engines, yeah. Well, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's good, but I'm gonna have to pack much lighter this year as the baggage fees are ridiculously high. Yeah, but I'm gonna have to pack much lighter this year as the baggage fees are ridiculously high. So I'm gonna have to. I am going to have to. So, in other words, in the future, I need to pack much lighter. I'm gonna have to pack. I'm gonna have to pack much lighter. So I'm gonna have to pack lighter, but even lighter, much lighter this year. So in comparison to last year, as the baggage fees are ridiculously high. I'm using the word as here, but you could use the word because. As the baggage fees, because the baggage fees would be the same meaning. Baggage fees are the price you pay for the luggage and your bags and your things that you're packing. These are the baggage fees, and they are ridiculously high. I'm talking $80 for a suitcase. It used to be maybe $30. Even that felt a little expensive. Now it's $80 or $100. They're ridiculously high. Ridiculously high, super high, just too much, way too much.
Oh, well, that's how they get you.
But oh well, it's totally worth it. Honestly, the price I got, it's totally worth it. So if something because the baggage fees are really high, so I have to be careful, I can't pack too many things, that's okay. It's totally worth it. I got a good deal. I saved a lot of money. It's a little stressful for me to try to pack lighter, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get to see your family.
What about you, Mark? Will you be heading home for the long weekend?
I'm doing something similar, actually, but I'll be taking the train up to see my family. I'm doing something similar, actually, but I'll be taking the train up to see my family. Okay, so the grammar is interesting here. The first line of Kat's story was also I'm flying out, and I'm doing something similar. So that's the present continuous, but we're not doing it right now. We made a plan for the future. Kat bought her tickets. She already decided she is flying out. And me too. I've already made my plan, and it's not changing. So I'm doing something similar, but that's later. I'll be taking the train. So I've already got my ticket. I've already made plans. My schedule is set, and it's not changing. I'll be taking the train up to see my family. I'm using I will be because Kat mentioned the long weekend. That's a set time in the future. So in that long weekend or during that future time, I will be taking the train up to see my family. Native speakers, we've learned this through doing high-level listening, that apparently native speakers are always thinking about north and south and directions. Because if you're traveling north, then you take the train up, or you go up to see someone, or you go up to visit. So I'm heading north, so I will always add up to see my family. If I was going south, the train down to see my family.
So how long is that train ride?
It's a bit of a longer journey, about 6-ish hours. It's a bit of a longer journey, about 6-ish hours. So it's a bit of a longer journey, or it's a little bit longer. It's a bit of a journey. It's a bit of a longer journey, or it's a bit of a slower journey. meaning it's longer than Cat's flight. So I said it's about 6-ish hours. I don't know. Is it 5.5? Is it 6 hours and 10 minutes? Or is it 5 hours and 55 minutes? Approximately ish. And ish comes after the number. So it's 2-ish, 3-ish, 5-ish. We also use this when we're telling the time. You're like, oh, what time is it? Oh, we should be there at about 5-ish. Or they're coming over at about 2-ish. So when you're not specific about a time or a length of time, you can add ish. So my train journey, it's about 6-ish hours.
Whoa, that seems really long.
Yeah, but there's much less hassle. No big queues, no security rummaging through your bags or showing up 2 hours early. But there's much less hassle. No big queues, no security rummaging through your bags or showing up 2 hours early. So Kat is flying, so she has to go through the airport. And at airports, there is sometimes a lot of hassle. Hassle is sort of annoying things that you have to do. Maybe it's carrying or checking in at the front desk. It's putting your bag through the security checkpoints. And there's lots of little things that just take time. But on a train, there's much less hassle. Hassle's uncountable, so it's less hassle or not much hassle. One reason, there's no big queues. In British English, a line of people is a queue. Often at airports, there are long queues to check your passport, etc. At a train station, usually you just show up and the train arrives and you get on. Another thing that's better at the train station, there's no security rummaging through your bags. Security can be the area of an airport, but security can also be people. The staff who are responsible for security, they are security. So security came and took them away, or security shouted at me because I didn't have my passport ready. Security are the people, and they might rummage through your bags. Rummage. If you open a bag and you reach in and you move everything around and look inside, you are rummaging. If you can't find something in the kitchen, you open every drawer and you look deep inside to find the spatula. If you're rummaging through, you're looking quite deep and looking hard for it. So again, that's another thing that's not great about airports. Security like to rummage through your bags and mix up all the stuff you've packed carefully. Finally, there's no showing up 2 hours early. As I said, usually at a train station, you show up about 5 or 10 minutes before the train. You wait on the platform and you get on. It's very, very simple. At the airport, you have to show up or arrive very early because there's so much hassle, like the checks and the check-in and all that stuff. So yeah, I think there's much less hassle taking the train.
Yeah, fair enough. But what do you do for 6.5 hours, 6-ish hours?
I always bring a book, but most of the time I end up looking out the window and letting my mind wander. I always bring a book, but most of the time I end up looking out the window and letting my mind wander. So I always bring a book to read, to pass the time, but most of the time, or usually, or in most cases, most of the time I end up looking out of the window. I end up is when you didn't plan to do something, but it happened. Maybe it's just a spontaneous decision. Maybe your plan changed. And we use I end up doing. So I end up looking out the window. I always end up looking out the window. I bring a book, but I don't use it. My plan changes. And because I said end up looking, I say end up letting my mind wander. Wander can be to walk around without any clear destination. And we can say that about our mind as well. If you let your mind wander, you start daydreaming. You just start thinking about random things in a kind of relaxing way. So I'm sitting and looking out the window and I'm not worried about work. I'm not worried about anything. I'm just letting my thoughts come and go. And it's kind of relaxing in a way.
That sounds pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, I love a good train ride. I love a good train ride. So, like cat will go on a flight. I love a good flight.
Nobody
For
loves
me,
a
it's
good
a train.
fight.
Yeah,
There's
let's
no,
say no one really
there's
says
no
that.
such thing.
But yeah, I love a good train ride. Yeah, you ride the train. So same for bikes. I love a good bike ride. I love a good train ride. Boat ride, maybe. I love a good boat
It's
ride.
nice. It's pretty, I
Right?
guess.
Yeah, if the weather's nice. So it's two words. And yeah, maybe this is more British. When we're excited about something. Oh, I love a good, even with food. Oh, I love a good pie. Oh, I love a good pint. I love a good cup of tea. When you're excited and you enjoy something, I love a good train ride.
All right. Well, I love a good high level listening episode. So thanks so much for listening and joining us today. Hopefully, you picked up some new phrases that you can actually use the next time you talk about traveling.
Yeah, exactly. We think this is how you move from basic English to more natural, confident English by learning how real people speak in real situations.
And if you want more daily life and real world English like this, check out our complete English listening guide with over 100 real life topics and more than 2,000 words and phrases.
Yes, you'll find the link to that in the description below, along with full PDF transcripts so you can follow along with every single word. And there's extra practice materials in there as well.
And we'd love to hear from you guys. Are you traveling anytime soon? And how do you usually travel?
Yes, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy learning this American and British English together, like we do here on High Level Listening.
Thanks again for listening. We'll see you soon.
Bye bye.